I don't have no felonies. I'm not crazy or none of that. It's like I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything. So, I don't want to see him go down for something that you could have just got taken care of. That's it.
I guess that's what the whole name Bad Boy comes from.
Diddy said, you don't do a freak off, I'm going to release one of the freak off videos that you are profiled in.
We're not just watching another family feud. This feels like a bomb waiting to go off. Jay-Z's alleged secret son isn't simply demanding recognition. He's claiming to hold files that could tear down two of hip-hop's biggest empires. According to sources close to him, these recordings connect directly to Sean Diddy Combs. Clips from private gatherings and late-night encounters insiders describe as unfiltered and explosive. They say those files came from people who once called themselves victims and from others who worked behind the curtain. The deal? Use the evidence in court to expose both Diddy and Jay-Z once and for all. This isn't rumor mill chatter anymore. It's a direct challenge to two men who built hip-hop's fortune and power for decades. If what this young man claims is real, the story could shake the entire industry to its foundation.
You understand? I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make up their brand.
The young man isn't just making noise. He's stepping into the spotlight as both witness and whistleblower. He claims his footage will uncover patterns of control and silence that go far beyond celebrity misbehavior. He says he's speaking for those who were mistreated in an industry where fame and fortune once meant untouchable protection. But that mission has split the public. Some believe he's standing for truth, while others think Jay-Z is using his power to bury the evidence or twist the story back on his son, turning justice into a fight for survival. Rumors swirl that Jay-Z's team has framed the whole thing as extortion. What remains is a painful standoff, a son demanding justice and a father accused of trying to buy peace at any price. The tension exploded after Diddy's conviction hit headlines on October 3, 2025. The producer, once known as Brother Love, was sentenced to 50 months behind bars for transporting individuals for unlawful purposes under the century-old Mann Act. That verdict wasn't random. It came after an 8-week trial filled with shocking testimony from Cassie Ventura and another woman known only as Jane, both described being moved across state lines for what the court called illegal acts, sometimes filmed at wild events known as freak-offs. The judge called it a message to the industry. Diddy, now 55, wrote in a letter, "I lost my way."
I think Sandbank and Freed were in the unit that was one floor above mine. So in terms of like the setting, it's a fairly decent chance that the room I'm describing is similar to where Diddy is.
Those words, "I lost my way," hit differently when just weeks later reports surfaced that Diddy had been caught at FCI Fort Dix with a homemade brew made from fruit and soda. It was a small thing, but it spoke volumes. His supposed regret didn't last long. Even behind bars, his name stayed tied to dozens of civil cases, each one painting the same picture: coercion, power, and control. Many of those parties and private gatherings mentioned by prosecutors are now being re-examined because of this new scandal. Insiders claim some of the same A-list names appearing in those court documents also appear in the alleged son's recordings. If that footage really exists, it could draw a straight line from Diddy's downfall to Jay-Z himself, connecting the two in ways that go far beyond friendship.
So what happens now is this is simply a civil complaint. And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact-finding, right?
Jay-Z's silence has only made things worse. After Diddy's sentencing, fresh attention turned toward an old civil case accusing both men of assaulting a young fan after the 2000 Video Music Awards. The anonymous plaintiff claimed substances were involved and that the encounter was caught on camera. Jay-Z's lawyers have called the lawsuit a blackmail attempt, while Diddy's team dismissed it as pure fiction. But that same year has now become the centerpiece of this unfolding drama. because the alleged son says his recordings trace back to that exact period, clips that could reveal who was present and what really happened when the lights went out. For years, Jay-Z has faced whispers about a secret child. The case of Rymir Satterthwaite, now in his 30s, has lingered since the early 2000s. Court records show multiple attempts to force a DNA test, all blocked by his legal team. Earlier petitions were tossed out for jurisdiction issues and time limits, but this year, Rymir revived the case, accusing Jay-Z's attorneys of manipulating the system to dodge a test once again. The new lawsuit, filed in late November, demands sealed documents be reopened. Whether this is a real legal pursuit or part of something larger is up for debate. But the timing, landing right as Jay-Z's name reappears in Diddy's scandal, has fueled the fire like never before.
Jay?
Yeah.
At this point? I would want, why?
Behind all this chaos lies a long and complicated history between Jay-Z and Diddy, one that stretches back nearly 3 decades. From their first collaborations in 1997 to the lavish Rock Nation brunches where they toasted to brotherhood, the two men built an image of power, success, and loyalty. They shared stages, raised millions for charity, and became symbols of dominance in music and business. But now those glossy photos from red carpets and galas are being re-examined under a darker light. Former associates are stepping forward, saying that the bond between these moguls was never just friendship. It was protection, a silent agreement to keep certain nights and certain secrets out of public view. When Cassie testified in court about private encounters involving substances and paid guests, many noticed something strange. Those same nights reportedly lined up with events Jay-Z was rumored to attend. If true, that connection could shift this story from scandal to evidence, linking Jay-Z to moments that prosecutors have already labeled criminal.
Same kind of extortion that we heard when Cassie took the stand and testified on that airplane ride back from France.
What makes the son's story so explosive isn't just the family drama. It's what he claims to have. Insiders say the recordings in his possession feature major celebrities, situations that could raise serious questions about consent, and scenes that might force prosecutors to reopen cases long thought closed. If those files ever reach a courtroom, the fallout could be catastrophic for Jay-Z and Diddy alike. Whispers around the industry say power brokers are already moving behind the scenes. Allegedly, some have approached the young man with support funds that look a lot like hush money. Nothing has been proven, but even the rumor has turned him into both a threat and a target. Rymir insists he isn't chasing fame or fortune. He says all he wants is acknowledgement and justice. But critics online claim that by linking his fight to Diddy's criminal case, he's using public outrage as leverage. Legal experts believe there's strategy here. If his testimony ties Jay-Z to federally prosecutable acts, one man could be forced to turn on the other. In that kind of power game, family ties don't matter. Survival does. Meanwhile, reports from Fort Dix say Diddy is still running things from his cell, maintaining influence and contacts that stretch beyond the prison walls. If insiders really trusted Rymir enough to pass him sensitive material, that means they still see Diddy's reach as dangerous. According to sources, those who gave him the files don't want money, they want exposure. They view him as the one person with nothing left to lose, and the only one bold enough to take the truth public.
And you're like,
You say greed?
greed.
The money?
Yes. Or the power, one of the two.
I mean, it
I
looks
don't
more
know.
like power.
It's this spell, right?
Right.
That Jay got. That's why I kind of look at Kanye and Dame and all them. They the old me.
Right.
They the YouTube me.
Yeah.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? That this Dame look like the old YouTube me to me, because he hurt, bro.
All these threads are tangled tighter than ever. Diddy's legal downfall, Jay-Z's public silence, and the sudden reappearance of a man who's been fighting to be heard for years. Every court filing, every leaked message drags new names into the storm. And still, the biggest mystery remains. What's really on those recordings? This is no longer just about a son asking for recognition. It's about a man claiming to hold the one thing two of music's most powerful figures can't let the world see. If he's telling the truth, the damage won't stop at reputations. The consequences could reach into criminal territory, toppling everything these moguls built. And now, rumors suggest more witnesses are stepping forward, each holding copies of their own. If that's true, this isn't the end. It's just the first crack in a much larger collapse waiting to happen.
I mean, let's just be real for a second. There are a lot of lawyers who call this legal extortion, and that this is the way the legal system works, which is you threaten somebody with reputational harm. And in this case, it's interesting that Jay-Z, who's very wealthy, said it would be financial ruin.
Jay-Z's legal team has gone on the offensive, but not in the way most expected. Instead of addressing the allegations directly or explaining what might be on those supposed recordings, they've turned their focus toward tearing down the man behind the claims. In recent filings, they labeled his paternity case a decades-long harassment campaign, repeating that phrase across multiple documents as if trying to etch it into the record forever. They argue that every accusation, every mention of hidden footage, and every hint of betrayal is part of a manipulative scheme. But here's the twist. The alleged son insists those same lawyers quietly offered him money multiple times, not to acknowledge him, but to make him disappear. It's a dangerous tug of war. One side cries extortion, the other calls it intimidation. And the truth? It might hurt both. Because if these recordings are real, and if they capture the kind of private moments insiders claim they do, Jay-Z's risks extend way beyond embarrassment. He could face criminal exposure, the same fate that already brought down his former friend. Investigators haven't forgotten Diddy's 2024 Miami mansion raid either, where agents seized computers and phones. Many now wonder, were they searching for the same footage the alleged son says he has, or were they trying to bury it before it exploded?
That he has, with others, and just because no one else has been charged, which normally in a RICO case you would have others charged, it was a statute designed to get mob bosses, trying to get at criminal behavior that's like a web of criminal behavior that you can't necessarily prove, like the one thing or the statute of limitations expired on the other thing, but you're just showing this bad guy who's operating what's clearly an enterprise that over and over engages in criminal problems or criminal acts.
The timing of that raid raises serious questions. It happened months before Diddy's formal indictment, back when both he and Jay-Z were still showing up at major events together, smiling for cameras like nothing was wrong. Insiders say that during that same period, communication between their camps skyrocketed. Encrypted messages, private flights, and secret meetings that never made it to any schedule. Former security contractors even claimed certain hard drives and storage boxes were quietly removed from homes linked to both moguls. Law enforcement hasn't confirmed it, but the pattern feels too deliberate to ignore. For years, their success ran in parallel. Now so do their scandals. That's why many are asking the real question. Why would insiders trust Jay-Z's alleged son with evidence this explosive? Some believe he's the only one outside that powerful circle who can't be bought. Others say he's being used by enemies who want to make Jay-Z and Diddy turn on each other until they both crumble. We've seen power alliances fall apart before, but this could be the one that rewrites the history of hip-hop itself.
So he put his hands on females, put his hands on producers, executives. That's just his. I guess that's what the whole name Bad Boy comes from. That people don't really understand. What is it? What is a bad boy? Why did he choose that name? Like he never really gave a clear definition of how he feels about that name. Not yet.
Diddy's letters from prison painted a picture of remorse, claiming he'd changed and found peace. But those who know him say it's all strategy. From his New Jersey cell, he reportedly advises younger inmates while still pulling strings through intermediaries. If he's truly innocent, why are his lawyers still fighting so hard to block access to digital evidence from that 2024 raid? At the same time, Jay-Z's silence feels calculated. He hasn't directly addressed the alleged son or the rumored recordings. His only statements have focused on denying the older civil accusations tied to Diddy's infamous after-party behind the scenes. Insiders say his team has one plan: discredit and delay. They're buying time, filing extensions, and tracing every person linked to the son's communication network. But rumors won't stay buried. Industry sources claim those recordings might already exist in multiple copies, some even overseas. One insider told media outlets that producers in London were offered encrypted files tied to Diddy's old white parties. Nothing's been verified, but the fear alone has turned the industry radioactive. Every leak, every anonymous post makes one thing clear. Someone's playing a very long game.
So, as we look at Jay-Z's life, he's a billionaire, married to Beyonce. Do you feel like he's truly reaped the karma of all his actions?
Where the karma is at?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we don't see him.
Nah, well.
Or do you feel like he ever will?
I feel like if you done people wrong, you done people wrong.
Behind all the chaos, one question keeps coming up. What does the son really want? He says it's about truth and justice, not money or fame. But critics see something else: perfect timing. They point out that his accusations surfaced right when Jay-Z's public image was taking hit after hit. Supporters argue that's unfair. No amount of cash could erase decades of being ignored by a father who preaches family and authenticity. To them, this isn't revenge, it's a reckoning. But skeptics see calculation in every move. Is he exposing corruption, or is he playing the same power game he claims to hate? What's clear is that this story isn't simple. Every new post, every legal filing adds another twist, and now both sides are locked in a standoff that's as personal as it is political.
This is what I look for. When I see a success, I'm looking for anything
to say that they didn't do it on their own?
Detain it. Not to say
The psychology behind this feud runs deep. Jay-Z and Diddy once stood as twin pillars of hip-hop. Brooklyn grit and Harlem polish, ambition and indulgence. They didn't just make music, they mastered the image of control. Billionaires born from the streets, untouchable and admired. But that image is cracking. Diddy's empire has already collapsed under federal pressure, while Jay-Z's still stands, but with fractures forming beneath the surface. His fortress of brands, partnerships, and prestige now feels like it's under siege, not from the tabloids, but from within his own bloodline. And maybe that's the most haunting part, because if this saga ends in ruin, it might not be because of what's exposed publicly, but because of the paranoia that's already taken root behind those mansion gates.
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he had to, he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
Federal investigators are now circling back to Diddy's case, and this time they're watching Jay-Z too. Officials say new evidence could reopen parts of Diddy's conviction if fresh recordings surface his earlier charges were limited. But if these alleged files show more involvement, the fallout could shake the industry like never before. Jay-Z's lawyers are scrambling to brand the son's story as fiction, yet the harder they push back, the more people question what's being hidden. If there's really nothing to hide, why fight so hard to silence it? Insiders whisper that the footage might expose more than just artists, maybe producers, executives, even political names, and that fear has brands cutting ties quietly while crisis teams scramble behind closed doors. Diddy writes from prison about peace. Jay-Z avoids cameras. And the alleged son? He's hinting that the truth is still coming. If even one clip turns out to be real, this won't be about gossip anymore. It'll be about crimes, cover-ups, and legacies collapsing in real time. Maybe this isn't just about justice anymore. Maybe it's about survival, about who controls the truth before it breaks free. Because when the truth finally hits the light, it might not look anything like the story they've built all these years. And before you go, if you love diving into the real, raw, and messy side of celebrity life, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts down in the comments. We've got more drama, more truth, and more chaos coming your way soon. This is Pop Juice Exposed, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's next. See you in the next one.